Hi, my name is Ryan. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the J-Series campers today. First thing that I really like about the J-Series campers, when you look at the front right here, you've got a diamond plate all the way across the front. The reason that's important is that's going to keep your brand new camper that you're taking down the road for the very first time. It's going to keep that nice. It's going to keep that without dents, without chips, without things like that. So this is a great feature right here for road debris. When you come up along the side of the camper, what you'll notice here too, this camper is actually built with a bonded aluminum all the way up the side. There are a lot of campers, believe it or not, they're built very differently. You can actually tap them and the wall will move back and forth just a little bit. So there's a lot of campers out there that Coleman's and Vikings and all sorts of things like that. Jayco has been built by the same family, the same company, for 41 years. So they know what they're doing, they care about what they're doing, and everything about this camper, and I'm going to show you these things, everything about this camper is very high-end and very well built. When you come down a little bit further, you're also going to notice this is a one-piece door right here. Now, anybody who's been camping knows the significance of that. By the way, this door, super easy to set this up. This just flips right up to the roof. A lot of other campers, the wall that I was just talking to you about, the wall and the door are kind of the same thing. They have a wall that flips down and it comes way out here. They have a wall that flips down into a door. We call it a shin buster, actually, because if you've ever been on a campsite and you've had a couple of Pepsis or something like that and you come in, you're pretty much going to need stitches. It's just kind of a matter of what trip it happens on. So a lot of people like this one-piece door. It's very easy to set up. It goes right up to the roof. Just a really smart thing, which you would expect because these guys have been doing this since 1968. So they've got a lot of experience. In fact, this is kind of a funny story. The co-founder of the company, she still sits on the board. So come down a little bit further. What I want to show you now, actually, before I get too far, if we come back to this wheel, this is a really nice thing right here. These wheels actually have what they call easy lube axles. If you've been camping and you've owned campers for a long time, you've had to grease the bearings on your tent camper before. With this, you just squeeze this right off here, you pump once or twice with your grease gun, and you're done. What could be maybe a 30-minute job, it's like 2 or 3 minutes. So that's another great thing about Jayco's is they've been doing it for such a long time. Not only do they build something that's high quality, but it's easy for you to use. You can spend your time camping instead of taking care of your camper. So, which is a really cool thing. As you come down here, a couple of small things, and I say small, but when you're on the campsite, they actually really matter. This light here is actually an amber light. A lot of campers, for some reason, they put white lights out there, and I don't know if you know this, but that tends to attract bugs. So when your kids want to go to sleep and all that kind of stuff, or you're right at the end of the night, with a Jayco, you're going to keep the bugs away. So, that's kind of camping 101. These guys have been doing it for 41 years. They understand things like this. One other thing that's really, really cool right here, if you look at this, this is where your cooktop grill is going to go. Now, what's really nice about this, it's going to be underneath your awning. You don't see an awning here, but just to be very clear, the J-Series does come with an awning. That's a standard option. What's really neat is this, though. If you get this camera right down here, you really want to look at this. This is a quick disconnect right here. So your propane hose is going to attach right here. And you don't have to screw it on. You don't have to do anything like that. It's like an actual grill that you would buy in a store, because it's got the quick disconnect right here. So again, Jayco's are really, really easy to use. They've been doing this for so long, they know what people want, and they give it to you. So the most important thing about a Jayco tent camper, though, and this is huge, this is the most important thing that there is the tent sections right here. In fact, the way I look at it is this: a tent camper is as important, a tent is as important to a pop-up as water is to our body. It's more tent than anything else. When you look at this, the first thing you're going to notice is it looks kind of shiny. It's vinyl on the outside and canvas on the inside. They didn't used to be like this. And believe it or not, there's actually companies that still make tent campers with canvas all over the place, which if you watch that 70s show, you'll probably see something similar. The whole thing is this: they actually make their tents right in-house. Jayco, by the way, about 85% of their line is about 85% of their factory line is Amish Mennonite. So they just do exceptional work. Their fit and finish is amazing. And no place does that show up more than in their tents. They actually make these right in-house. Now, a couple of things. Number one, there's going to be an exceptional fit. And when you come right along here, you can see how well this fits. It's a double stitching all the way along, by the way, just so you know that. When you open this up right here, this is just a huge, huge deal. Again, the last thing you want when you're camping is to get wet inside, to get bugs inside. Those are things that ruin trips. So, I mean, what you want to do is buy a nice camper and have fun with your family. These guys build something so well and with so many features, that's what you can do. So, when you get up right in here, what you're going to notice is there's no holes in here, which you would expect that would always be the case. It's just not always true. There's no holes in here. So when you buy a Jayco camper and you know that their tents have been made in-house, you can know, number one, it's going to be a perfect fit, okay? Number two, if anything, and this probably wouldn't happen, but if anything ever happened to the tents, like the kid that you were camping store next door decided he wanted to practice his fly fishing and he cast it right into your tent or something like that, they can replace these because they're done in-house. That's the only reason why. 10 to 14 business days, you'll have new tents right from the factory with a perfect fit. So there are other companies that basically they assemble pop-ups, but other people build all the parts, which is okay. But the only problem with that is your family's going to miss half the camping season while you wait for that to come out. And, you know, it probably would fit, but we just don't know. With Jayco, they're built in-house, and it's that same 85% Amish Mennonite thing, so extremely, extremely high quality. They care about what they do. So, the other thing, by the way, this is actually broken into 3 different sections. So if you ever did have to replace something, and that just wouldn't really happen, but if you did, you're not going to have to pay for the whole thing. You just have to pay for a third of it. So follow me around a little bit more. There's a couple more things you're going to want to see here. Couple of really important things here at the back of the camper. Number one, John, if you kind of look right down here, the first thing you're going to see, this is absolutely huge. This is almost as important as those tent sections. When you look up underneath here, this is marine grade plywood. This is just a huge thing. There are other campers that are built, they use particle board, which is basically sawdust that's glued together. This is true plywood under here. Now, I want to make sure that I'm very clear on one point. One of the best parts about buying a Jayco camper is they back up their products. They really, really back them up. You actually have, with a Jayco, 5 lifetime warranties on the structure of the camper, which is absolutely amazing. And the first of those 5 is right here. It's this marine grade plywood. So that same part of a camper where other companies build them and they might kind of fall apart because it's sawdust. With Jayco, it's a lifetime warranty. So as long as this camper this is warranty right here. I can't understate that. And what they do now, they didn't used to do this. This is actually sealed right here. So not only is it marine grade plywood, but it's sealed. If you look further underneath here, you're going to see you do have a spare tire. That comes standard. Like I said, the big thing with Jayco, they build a great product and they want to take care of you. They want you to enjoy your trip. The last thing that I want to point out right here, you probably can't get this, but there's 2 little hooks right here. We talked about the door before, the door on the front side of the camper. That exterior door you can actually take off and place right here, which is really nice because that's one less thing you have to worry about in terms of kids getting their fingers in there and they can maybe get them pinched or something like that. You just take that door right off, you flip your one-piece door down, and everybody's happy. So, a couple more things on the back side here we're definitely going to want to take a look at. Okay, just a couple things that I want to point out on the back of the camper here. These are really, really awesome. Number one, this is a standard feature for Jayco, by the way, which when you're out at the campsite, when you're with your family, this is an awesome feature to have. You actually have an outside shower right here. So it's an actual shower head. There's a little spot where you can just you can set this right up here too. There are all sorts of benefits that something like this has. Number one, after the kids and you and the dog and everybody's in from a hike or just playing outside, that kind of stuff, you can rinse their little legs off, you can soap everybody up, you can get them cleaned up. They don't have to come into the camper dirty. So it's going to help you keep that camper nicer longer. Another thing that a lot of people actually like to do with this is great, especially if you have a big group that's camping together and you've prepared a lot of food, you've had a big grill, something like that. You can rinse all of your pots and pans or whatever you might have. Any type of dishes that you have, just rinse right out here. There's no sense to take them take them into the camper and out and in and out and all that. You can do everything right back here. You eat outside, you might as well clean everything outside also. So, and again, this just goes back to that point. Jayco has been doing this for so long, and they really actually care about giving you something that makes sense for you to own, that they include all these little features like this. Now, the one thing about this that really makes it go, though, is what to me is probably one of the top 3 or 4 most important things on a J-Series camper, and that is this. Standard feature on the 10-foot and above models, not on the 806, but on the 10-foot and above, a hot water heater is standard. A lot of RVs and a lot of similar price type of pop-ups, that's an $800 or $900 option. With Jayco, it's standard. So, and that's really that really speaks to what Jayco does. They're a family-owned business. They actually got their start with a better way to build a pop-up. So they're a family-owned business, and they really, really care. They really care that you're able to enjoy camping, so they don't leave things out like that. Coming around the front real quick here, there's one other thing that I want to show you at the front, and then we can go inside, and there's some really, really awesome stuff in there. This would appear to be a little thing, but it's actually not. You have, first of all, on this J-Series camper, you have a stabilizing jack in all 4 corners. What you'll find in some other brands that are in a similar price range is they actually, I think to save money, which is kind of too bad, that they would save money here. You have a jack in all 4 corners on this, and a lot of them, they'll take the jacks off the front, which means that you have your stabilizer in front, you have 2 in back, and that's it. On a Jayco, you have 5 points of contact, and you will be very stable. More to the point, on a Jayco, you have nice, big, round sand pads. For some reason, other campers, they'll have this jack right there, and there won't be any pad at the bottom, which is okay if you're on cement. But if you're in wet ground at all, or if it's sandy or anything like that, which even gravel, a lot of campgrounds are, it's just not going to do its job. So that's a really huge deal right there. Now, one other thing around the front here, and this just, I can't not point this out, this is huge. There are actually pop-up campers that are built with this tongue jack all the way over on the side, which is just really not a good idea at all. You really want that up in the front so that it can have a maximum stability right there. Something off on the side, I mean, you're kind of rocking a little bit right from the beginning, and it would basically just be like, welded to the frame or something like that. This, you can see, this is right in the, and I don't know if you can see this or not, and I want to make sure that I get this. But this is right in the middle. It's bolted in. It's stable. There's a lot of stability. That's how they should be built. But on some campers, believe it or not, you're going to see a crank way off over here. How that actually makes things more stable, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it does, because otherwise they wouldn't do it. This thing outside here, and this is a small thing, but it's a really important thing too. When you look at this Jayco step right here, what you're going to notice is there's a really nice, almost like a graphite pad right here. The importance of that is when I get up on this step, then there's a couple of runners along here too that you see. When I get up on that step, it's not slippery. You actually see some pop-up campers that don't have anything like that. It's just metal, and to me it's really easy to slip. Maybe I'm just clumsy, I don't know. But when we come inside here, there's just a load of stuff. Now we're inside, and now the fun really starts. All sorts of features in here, and just to recap, there's some really big things about the way Jayco builds their camper. We've talked about a couple of lifetime warranties already. There's actually a total of 5 lifetime warranties. I'm going to tell you what those are in just a second. But the number one thing to me, other than the fact that they make their own tents in-house, and other than the fact that there's a hot water heater that's included standard, the most important thing to me about the Jayco campers is really just the fit and finish. And you can see that all through this camper here. If you want to take a couple of looks at some of the cabinets and things like that, it's just a very high quality. And when you walk in here, I know it's maybe hard to see now on video, but when you walk in here, you can really, really see the quality. The best example inside of that quality to me is actually this right here. And I can tell you something, we've carried a lot of different lines of pop-ups through the years, and there's nothing like Jayco. There just isn't. If you look right here, this is the coolest thing. They actually make all of their own soft goods. That's going to be the tents, the cushions here, everything, all soft goods are made right in-house. Now, there's a couple cool things about that. Number one, if you ever, for any reason, if the young man who was fly fishing earlier, if he happened to come inside your camper and spill something, spill some Kool-Aid, something like that, and you just couldn't get it out, they will have this same pattern in stock at the warehouse, guaranteed for 3 years after they stop using it. So, and that's a little thing right there, probably wouldn't happen, but that's just how much they care about you being able to keep nice the camper that you're investing in for your family. And you know what? It's those little things too that really, really give Jayco, the J Series in particular, such a great resale value for RVs. And I'm going to tell you, now what's unique about this layout, by the way, is you actually have a camper here with two different dinettes in it. You've got a standard dinette right here, and then you've got a U-shaped dinette right there. So those are both really cool features. In fact, I want to show you something, and this really is a new thing they've done in the last year or two, and really proves the point that they're continuing to evolve and just finding new and better ways to do things. Anybody that's been in a camper recently at all is going to know that this pole right here, these used to be metal, okay? Now, the only problem with that is you had a metal pole and a metal fitting, and frankly, they didn't fit very well. There was always some looseness, there was always some rattle, but Jayco, in a quest to always be building a better product for you, they have done away with that, and this is actually now plastic on plastic. And if you look at how well and how snug this fits in, there's not a lot of wiggle there at all. And I'm going to put this table right back up here. And again, this is something you have to come out to the store and you have to feel the difference here, okay? There we go. Okay. There's very, very little give here. And, I mean, you know, you're sitting down, you're inside because probably it's raining or something like that, which occasionally is going to happen, which, by the way, is great in this layout. You have two tables. But that's just one little example. They're always, always trying to do things better. But other things inside the camper here, and I want to move along here. You have in this Jayco, you actually have, not only is it a refrigerator, there are still pop-up campers that will give you an ice box, which is hard to believe, but it's true. This is a three-way refrigerator, so you can use this with your propane. If you go to a campsite where there's electric and you don't want to waste your propane, you can actually flip this on to an electric setting. So, and we get in here real quick. This, by the way, this Norcold is an American-made refrigerator, just so you know that. But you've got a three-way refrigerator in here. The appliances are top-notch in a Jayco. You've got, again, the hot water heater is a huge deal. You got a three-way refrigerator. You can see the cooktop right here. This, by the way, is indoor-outdoor. So what we looked at outside, with that quick disconnect, really easy to use, this just flips right outside. So, other things in here, just so you know, and we almost kind of take them for granted because Jayco has had them for so long, but you've got a furnace in here. You have, when you come along the side here, these are actually tinted windows. Really, really big deal. A lot of other campers don't have them. The reason it's a big deal, number one, you've got privacy. It's going to keep the sun out, secondly, so you'll be comfortable inside. But we've been talking about this fabric and how nice it is. Well, one of the reasons Jayco lasts so long, you have tinted windows here. It's going to keep your fabric from fading over time. So they build a camper that is easy to use. It's going to hold up for a long time, and because of that, it has great resale value. I just want to recap real quick a couple important things both outside and inside that they just can't be missed. Because of the Jayco quality, like I said, they're actually Amish built. And there is one other thing I want to show you just on the back of the camper here. You have a 2-year hitch-to-bumper warranty. Almost all other RVs, even we have $250,000 motorhomes outside, have a 1-year warranty. This camper that we're in right now, it's a 2-year warranty. Like I said, they build a great product and they back it up. So it's an Amish-built camper. It's got a 2-year hitch-to-bumper warranty, which is twice what almost any RV has. Okay, and the entire structure of this camper, the entire structure, basically has lifetime warranty. 5 things. Number one, the roof. This is a seamless roof up on top. You don't have to worry about leaks and things like that. It's a seamless one-piece roof. Huge deal. The frame of this camper is a lifetime warranty. The floor has a lifetime warranty. Okay, so basically, to me, that's the entire structure of the camper. You've got, you've got roof, frame, floor. You've got the tent sections underneath outside, and the lift system. This is the last thing here. This is the most important part of the camper, and this is how the company started. There is a fully enclosed, and I'll show you this right outside, a fully enclosed lift system. Okay, what that means, that fully enclosed lift system, is this. There are no cables, there are no cords, there are no pulleys. Nothing is actually exposed. There are tent campers that are built, and by companies that have been doing this for a long time, like there's Coleman's and there's Vikings and there's this and there's that. They'll actually have wires and everything exposed underneath the undercarriage of the camper, which that's the main place road debris is going to come up. You're going to get just all sorts of stuff. It's a huge deal. The reason these campers basically last forever is because that lift system, which you can actually take a look at right in here if you hadn't already, this lift system is completely and fully enclosed. That's the number one thing about these campers, by far. Fully enclosed lift system is one of 5 lifetime warranties. You have twice the warranty most other RVs have. They do a hot water tank. They do all sorts of stuff. Bottom line is this. If you're going to buy a tent camper, come see a Jayco. There's basically no other camper that compares to them, and frankly, I don't know why you'd want to buy anything else. You just want to make sure that you come out to the store, look at them firsthand. There's just nothing that's going to be any better.